Before the Europeans, thousands of years before the creation of the United States, America was inhabited by indigenous peoples. Hundreds of tribes lived across the continent, each with its own culture, language, and traditions. Some built large cities, while others survived through hunting and fishing. In the South, civilizations such as the Maya and the Aztecs flourished. On the territory of modern-day America lived tribes like the Apache, Sioux, Cherokee, Navajo, and many others. They created weapons, farmed corn, built settlements, and traded with each other. For them, the land was sacred and nature was part of everyday life. But everything changed after the arrival of Europeans, Columbus, and the beginning of colonization. In 1492, explorer Christopher Columbus sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, searching for a new route to Asia. Instead of India, he reached a new continent. Although Columbus never realized he had discovered America, his voyages changed the world forever. After that, Spain, France, and England began rapidly claiming territories into the New World. Europeans brought diseases, weapons, and new laws. Millions of indigenous people died from wars and epidemics. Gradually, England established 13 colonies along the eastern coast of North America. People moved there searching for freedom, land, and wealth. The War of Independence. By the mid-1700s, the colonies began to clash with Britain. The British government imposed heavy taxes, but the colonists had no representation in Parliament. A famous slogan appeared: "No taxation without representation." In 1773, the Boston Tea Party took place. Colonists threw British tea into the harbor as an act of protest. Soon after, war began. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. Its main author was Thomas Jefferson. America declared to the world it was now an independent nation. The army was led by George Washington. After a long and difficult war, Britain lost. That was the birth of the United States of America. The War of Independence. By the mid-1700s, the colonies began to clash with Britain. The British government imposed heavy taxes, but the colonists had no representation in Parliament. A famous slogan appeared: "No taxation without representation." In 1773, the Boston Tea Party took place. Colonists threw British tea into the harbor as an act of protest. Soon after, war began. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. Its main author was Thomas Jefferson. America declared to the world it was now an independent nation. The army was led by George Washington. After a long and difficult war, Britain lost. That was the birth of the United States of America, the Civil War. In the mid-1800s, America became divided. The North wanted to abolish slavery. The South opposed it. In 1861, the Civil War began. At that time, the president was Abraham Lincoln. He became a symbol of the fight against slavery. The war was extremely brutal. Hundreds of thousands of people died. In 1863, Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. 2 years later, the North won the war. Slavery was officially abolished. However, the country remained divided for many years because of racism and inequality, industrialization, and the rise of America. After the war, America began transforming into an economic giant. Factories, railroads, and massive cities were built across the country. Millions of immigrants arrived in the United States searching for a better life. Powerful businessmen emerged: John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford. Ford made automobiles affordable for ordinary people. America started dominating global industry. But alongside prosperity, inequality between the rich and the poor also increased. World War I and the Great Depression. In 1917, the United States entered World War I. America helped the Allies defeat Germany. After the war, the economy grew rapidly. People bought cars, technology, and stocks on a massive scale. But in 1929, the stock market collapsed. The Great Depression began. Millions of people lost their jobs and savings. Banks closed, and people stood in long lines for food. President Franklin D. Roosevelt launched a reform program called the New Deal. World War II. In 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. After that, the United States entered World War II. America became the leading force of the Allied powers. American factories produced massive amounts of tanks, aircraft, and weapons. The US fought against Germany, Italy, and Japan. In 1944, Allied forces landed in Normandy. At the end of the war, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan surrendered. America became the most powerful nation in the world. The Cold War. After World War II, the United States entered a long conflict with the Soviet Union. This period became known as the Cold War. The two superpowers competed for influence across the world. An arms race and a space race began. In 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. America also fought wars in Korea and Vietnam. During this era, African Americans actively fought for civil rights. Martin Luther King Jr. became a symbol of equality and justice. Modern America. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the United States remained the world's dominant superpower. America became a global center of technology, business, and culture. Major companies emerged: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. In 2001, the September 11th terrorist attack shocked the nation. Afterward, the United States launched wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Today, America remains one of the most influential countries in the world. It shapes music, movies, fashion, politics, and the internet. But the country still faces serious problems: political division, racial tensions, and economic inequality. Even so, the United States continues to symbolize opportunity for millions of people around the world. Final, the history of America is a story of war, money, technology, and the struggle for freedom, from small colonies to a global superpower. America survived revolutions, wars, economic crises, and groundbreaking discoveries. And even today, it continues to influence almost the entire world.